Welcome back to Cosmic. Today, we got a truly wild and entertaining story for you. The time when Eminem met Marvel's anti-hero vigilante, The Punisher. It's strange, chaotic, and full of action, so let's dive right in. Our tale starts in Detroit, where Eminem has just finished a concert. After hyping up the crowd, he's about to get into his limousine with his entourage. But, out of nowhere, a mysterious man appears in the alley. Naturally, Eminem's bodyguards tell the guy to beat it. But this is no ordinary man. He pulls out two massive guns and, in a blink, wipes out Eminem's entire crew. Eminem himself barely escapes being shot. Just as things start to get intense, a notorious villain from the Punisher comics named Barracuda grabs Eminem. Barracuda and Eminem apparently know each other from the past, although the comic doesn't quite explain how. Barracuda tells Eminem that the Punisher wasn't aiming to kill him, but had been trying to take Barracuda down. In other words, Eminem and his crew were just unlucky collateral damage in the Punisher's quest for vengeance. But Eminem, being the tough rapper we all know him to be, doesn't just take this lying down. He wants revenge on the Punisher for gunning down his friends. So, he teams up with Barracuda to face the Punisher. However, when they confront Frank Castle, things quickly go south. The Punisher pulls out a missile launcher and fires it directly at Eminem. But Slim Shady and Barracuda manage to escape the explosion and take shelter in an old, rundown house. Punisher, being relentless as ever, tracks them to the house. Now here's where things get really off the rails. As soon as the Punisher enters the house, Eminem is ready for him. He pistol whips Frank and shoots him several times, all while rapping one of his iconic tracks. It's ridiculous but also kind of awesome. Amidst all the action, we finally learn why Barracuda has been after Eminem all along. Turns out, Barracuda was hired by the Parents Music Council to assassinate Eminem, and it all has to do with his controversial lyrics. But Barracuda, always scheming, comes up with an even more sinister plan. Instead of simply killing Eminem, he decides he'll throw him into a frozen lake. This way, Eminem's body will never be found, and the mystery of his disappearance will cause his merchandise to skyrocket in value. Barracuda plans to buy tons of Eminem merch and resell it for a fortune on eBay. Barracuda tosses Eminem into the icy waters, but our rapper hero doesn't go under. Instead, he somehow gets back on his feet and starts walking away. By sheer luck, he stumbles upon an ice fisher who just happens to be listening to Eminem's latest album. The ice fisher helps Slim Shady get back on his feet, and together, they plan to take down Barracuda once and for all. Meanwhile, Barracuda captures the Punisher and starts beating him up, preparing to finish him off. But just before Barracuda can deliver the final blow, Eminem makes a grand entrance. He returns to the boat armed with a chainsaw, which he got from the ice fisher. In an epic moment straight out of a horror film, Eminem charges at Barracuda and slices off his fingers. Then, in true Slim Shady fashion, he cuts Barracuda in half with the chainsaw and dumps his body into the icy lake. Talk about a brutal finish. Just when Eminem thinks the danger is over, the Punisher isn't quite ready to let him off the hook. Frank Castle stands behind Eminem, gun drawn, and declares that because Eminem killed Barracuda and tried to kill him earlier, that makes Eminem a criminal. And what does the Punisher do to criminals? He kills them. But Punisher doesn't actually shoot Eminem. Instead, he fires a few rounds around Eminem, causing the ice to break and creating a small raft. This is his way of saying they're even now, since Eminem saved him from Barracuda. The Punisher throws Slim Shady a satellite phone and tells him to call for help as he sails off to deal with the people who hired Barracuda, the Parents Music Council. And that's how the bizarre tale of Eminem and the Punisher comes to an end. So, while it may not be one of Marvel's greatest stories, it's definitely one of the most fun and unusual ones. If you're an Eminem fan, this crossover is a must-read. That wraps up today's story, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you want us to cover more wacky comics.